Live. Let me make sure my volume is up. Microphone sounding good. Okay, hold on one second. Turn my phones down. Yeah, it's been a minute, so we're gonna have to see who we get in the building. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me put some coffee. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. 5 people in the building. Salute to the people in the chat. We are back.
How's it going?
Everybody wondering what happened to Mr. Lyte Burly and the Guru, but I got a lot of people out there that don't like me, so there's been a lot of attacks on my channel. But they can't hold a good thing back. They can't stop a good thing. Smash that like button as you come in the building. We have the Guru here tonight, and I told you we were going to be bringing the Guru back. Words from the Guru. Soon we'll be accepting people that may want to talk to the Guru and get some private conversations with him. Ranging from all topics. You don't have to have any specific question for the Guru, because that's why he's the Guru. So we are here tonight with a late live, but now that the channel's back up and running, expect to see more of this. And I, Mr. Lyte Burly, I have written out 10 questions for the Guru. Now, hopefully, some of these questions are the questions that you had. I'm not sure, but hopefully these questions can answer some general questions that you may have, because I got some good ones. Lyte Burly's gonna come with some good questions. We're gonna the Guru's gonna work tonight. No, but this is easy work for him. So once again, please introduce yourself to the people from the time off that we have. You can take the floor now. Let them know what you're about, Mr. Guru.
All right. My name is Guru SURAJ. Okay. I'm an American from California, Long Beach. Trained many years in boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, many types of different martial arts, tactical fighting. But most important of all is the 3,000-year-old Indian martial art, the most original martial art there is among all the organized martial arts in the world. The origin of Shaolin Kung Fu, the origin of Bodhidharma schooling in martial arts. I come from that lineage, and it's a divine martial art that enters into the spiritual world as well. So I've gathered some info from the spiritual world that I'd like to share with you, Americans, from the East to the West. So that's pretty much it as far as I'm concerned. You'll know as we go on more.
Okay. So the Guru is seated. He is ready. I got my questions. Smash that like button. Share this live. It's about to go down. Alrighty, you see what I got right here. I even got me a new notebook for this. Take it serious. I got a whole notebook, a new notebook for these questions, just for these questions here. All right. So to all the people in the chat, sit back. Get ready for this ride right here. We have questions for the Guru. We're going to break it down. Now, Lyte Burly's first question to the Guru is, what is the difference between the mind and the brain?
Good question. Very good question. The brain is an existential thing. It's an organ. It exists. The mind is an experiential thing. You experience it. And things that you experience, you can't find. even if you have GPS. If I asked you
Right.
if I asked you to locate your mind, you'd have trouble with that. But you would locate where your mind is as far as what thought your mind is going through. And then when you find where it is, the thought goes away. Whereas the
Mm-hmm.
brain doesn't go away. The brain is an organ, but where do I keep Lyte Burly memories in my brain? I don't know. I don't know where I keep your. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just, it's just words, to be honest. It's just words. The brain, you don't play with your brain every day, but you play with your mind every day, you know? So the most important thing is, what do you feel, your brain or your mind? When you go into that, you'll realize that neither
Mm-hmm.
exists in actuality. For you, from the exterior, neither exists. You don't know which one you're using when. It's just words. Words have derailed people for centuries and thousands of years. Words. You're gonna have people waiting to figure out where their mind is now. And actually, there is no mind. Mind is it's my mind working on my brain. It's a waste of time, to be honest.
Which one's going here? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
it's an
Well, I think
interesting.
that's a deep question. I think that's a deep question because when we think of the brain, we think of it as the mind. Like and I think that's why I wanted you to make the clear separation of
I'll give you.
the mind.
Yeah. I mean, I can. If let's say you're shaving, you got a mirror in front of you. Okay. Now, are you
Mhm.
shaving yourself, or are you shaving the person in the mirror?
Oh, deep. Okay.
So I
Okay.
rather I rather
Okay.
shave my face than the person in the mirror's face.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think you get
Okay.
my
Okay.
drift. You get my drift.
Yeah. Big time. Big time. That was dope analogy. We got only one can Shine Lighthouse said only one can be controlled. What do you think about that? He said only
I
one can be
believe
controlled by the mind and the brain.
I understand what he says, but see, you cannot catch a thief by a thief. The mind cannot be caught by the mind. The mind cannot be controlled by the mind itself. You have to go beyond the mind to control the mind. You know, if you try to control your mind, what happens? You're focusing on controlling. You're not being the mind. You're not allowing the mind to be. So it's like, a runaway, let's say a cage full of baby, cage full of birds. The minute those birds fly out of that cage, they get eaten by a bigger bird. So they stay in the cage, right? The same way, the mind, once within your parameters, it's okay. But once it wanders, it's not your mind anymore. You just following your mind. You're not sending your mind. There's a big difference between sending your mind somewhere and following your mind. Never try to control your mind. Watch your mind, spectate your mind. If you spectate your mind, you can do many things with your mind. But the word control itself is against our nature. Control is thought.
Mm.
Thought is not our nature. Our nature is pure consciousness. It's only in pure consciousness that you watch and control your mind. If there is any control of the mind, it's in complete consciousness.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. That we got a little. I think there's a little delay or something. Uh, Shine Lighthouse said their words can control minds. Their words can control minds. I'm not too sure what he means by that. But we're going to go into the second question. What is thought and how does it shape us? See how we went from the mind right into thought.
Thought, the minute you step out of your consciousness, you go into the thought world. Once you're in your thought world, what happens is you're a victim of your circumstances. You're not playing by that. You're not completely in control, because complete control is thoughtlessness. The minute you succumb to thought, you're in danger. So when we fight, do we think? No, we fight. We don't think about, oh, what if he kicks me instead of punches me? You're already dead if you think. Life is the same way.
Yeah.
In actuality, if you are connecting with pure consciousness, you should put your thoughts away.
Mm.
There is no
So what do you mean
meditation.
by put your thoughts away? You mean clear your mind? Like how?
Clear your mind. Focus on that one thing that is not you. That is you, but not you. What I mean by that is not Lyte Burly, the martial artist, not Lyte Burly who lives in Texas, not Lyte Burly from Manhattan. None of that. Not your job, not your height, not your age. What else am I? When you keep eliminating, it's an elimination process. Once you eliminate, you get to the actual you. There's still work to be done on that. Once you deviate from that, that's when you go into thought. So, do
Mm-hmm.
thoughts control you? Yeah. When you mess up, when you allow your thoughts to control you, yeah, sure, it controls you. And how do you not let it control you? Staying in pure consciousness by practicing meditation. Like
Mm.
when we fight,
Okay.
we meditate without closing our eyes. We meditate with our eyes open. When we fight, we act, react, react, act.
Yes.
We're in the moment. We decipher the moment into a smaller moment, a smaller moment, a smaller moment. And we try to be there. Now, if you can do that when you're not fighting, you've accomplished going beyond thought.
Mm. Mm. That well, I've heard something like that. Is that when well, that in fight about the move you're doing, you already been hit. So you have to go beyond that point of thought. So beyond that point of thought, what would that be called? Like going beyond your thought. That's just operating in your consciousness.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So once you visit that place, you know about it. You can't, those who know, those who don't know don't need to know, in my opinion, because these are not things you can talk about. Words really don't do justice to that place we're talking about. That place where you exist in pure energy form, where your hands and legs move naturally without thinking about it. That place is what I'm talking. As a martial artist, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yes.
Like an
Well, I
ant.
think
Yeah.
a lot of athletes have called it the flow, like the flow, that moment of like when they're in that groove. They're not thinking; they're just doing.
The minute you use a word like flow, you try to flow, then you don't flow.
Mm.
You're not flowing. You're pure consciousness. Your body is just moving, just moving. Your body's moving, doing what it has to do, but your mind is clear. It's like before you give a speech. If you try to remember everything you're going to talk about, you'll mess up. If you clear your mind, if you have the balls to clear your mind before giving a speech, you'll give the greatest speech you've ever given. Have you noticed that?
No,
Impromptu.
I lost you. I lost you on that point because you went out for a second. What did you say again? Is
You
it?
see, when you control the mind, like we talked about, the same thing is what you do when you recap things that you're going to say in a speech, the things you're going to do in a
Mhm.
fight before, seconds before a fight. If you think, okay, first I'm going to kick him in the head, or no, first I'm going to jab him, then you're gone. But logically, you're supposed to. Your mind tells you, hey, think about all the things you worked on. Think, think, think. But no, that's your mind playing tricks. Do not think. Empty your mind. You know, I remember my first fight,
Mhm.
and my coach's wife told me, Sonny, they call me Sonny in Long Beach, California. All right, a long time ago, he said, Sonny, don't think about what the other guy's gonna do. Think about what you're gonna do to him. For a while, that helped. Then I thought about, I'm thinking, that's not doing any help. So I started going beyond thought, and that's when Ashtanga Yudh, the martial art itself, came to me. You know,
Mm.
pure consciousness,
Deep.
stillness in motion, powered by consciousness. That's my concept. Stillness in motion, powered by consciousness.
Indeed.
Words are
And
words.
that's a good thought for all martial artists that are competing. That's a good advice for all martial artists that are competing because I think we have all been to that point where, I'm a duck, I'm going to use my defense, or like you're thinking about what you want to do instead of just getting there and doing it. I think that's big advice for all martial artists in competition. Okay, we moving on. Question number 3. Does life exist in us or do we exist in life?
Both, equally important. Absolutely. See, a
Please
lot
tell
of
us
these
why.
a lot of these questions may sound black and white, so they may expect the black and white answer, but sorry to disappoint. But if you're going to play with words, you're going to play with your logic as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're playing with yourself when you ask these questions. It's a valid question. Does life exist in us? Yes, life exists in us. That's why we're having this interview. But how much life exists in us? How lively are you? That should be the focus. The livelier you are,
Mm.
the livelier you are, the more alive you will feel. The more alive you are, the more life will seem in you. You'll have more life in you. You could exist, you could survive, or you could live. You know, do we
Mm.
exist in life? Depends on our presence and awareness. If your awareness level is low, I don't think you exist in life. Life is passing by you. But if you're aware,
Wow.
if you are aware, sure, you exist in life completely. You are life. You are that. What is the
Mm.
greatest martial artists? Bodhidharma. People greater than Bodhidharma. What was the one thing common they had? Pure consciousness. Remember that scene with Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon? The kid's like, let me think. And then Bruce Lee goes, do not think, feel. Now, you have to apply that. It's not just a movie shit. It's not just Chinese wisdom. It's for everybody to accept, realize. You know, it's a realization. There's no going back on realizations. You can go back and forth with knowledge. But when it comes to realization, there is no going back if you think about it.
We having a little breakup with your we missing some of the words. I think it's the it's a little delay. I think it's a small delay happening because I'm
Oh,
missing some of your words. You go in and out.
okay. Well, let me try that again. Does life exist
Yeah,
in us?
repeat that one more time.
Does life exist in us? Sure. To differing varies, you know, difference is how alive are you? How alive am I? Is there a gauge? No. But at the same time, how much of us exist in life itself depends on how much we get involved with our life, right? If we are aware, complete awareness, if we fight in awareness, we wake up in the morning all the way to our bed, if we stay in awareness, we're there. We are completely alive. And hell yeah, we exist in life. Life exists in us. But if you're just going through life, you know, just going through emotions, you got 500 million thoughts. Every fucking window open in your head is still open. You can't close those windows in your head. You're not aware. The only reason you're doing what you do is
Mm.
because you practiced it over the years. You should be able to do it even if you didn't practice by being completely aware. Like an animal. Animals don't go to karate class or kung fu class. 8,400,000,
That's right.
yeah, 8,400,000 species exist. None of them go to karate class, but they all are in touch with their consciousness. They all are completely in their consciousness. They're not thinking about their, you know, Wells Fargo account. Hey, am I on overdraft? Am I? They don't have none of that in their lives. We complicate our lives to a point where even the most natural instinct we have to learn. Let me ask you something, Mr. Lightburry. Do you believe we started evolving after we started reading or writing, or we started devolving after reading and writing?
Great question. I would, the natural answer would be, the answer that pops in my head would be that we started evolving. But I'm thinking the way the question was said, I think we actually probably started devolving. But tell us why.
Look at all the instincts we lost.
Hmm.
Look at all the instincts we lost. You don't think we were able to go look at a leaf and know that's good for a cold or that's good for constipation, just like animals do? You don't think we had that gift? Of course we did. Till one guy said, let me write this down. Let me create this thing called alphabets and letters and this and that. And he put his ideas, and then there goes the original idea concept. Never again will there be an original idea that's uninfluenced. Think about it. You think there's actually free thought? There is no free thought. We are all influenced. We don't admit it. We are all influenced by our surrounding circumstances, everything. There is no such thing as free thinking. It's just a concept. It's a utopian dream, free thinking.
Well, I think that's the part of us that commercials play on. You know, you You see a Burger King commercial enough times, you want the Whopper Junior.
Exactly.
And you start thinking that you really wanted that Whopper Junior, but you
Yep.
just see the commercial 10 times all day. You're correct. You're correct. The free thought is it's a dream. Yes. Yes.
One more example. If none of us watched Bruce Lee movies, would we appreciate interception as much as we do now? Interception in martial arts, the way of the intercepting fist, right? Jeet Kune Do. Tell me one
Yeah.
fight where tell me one fight where you've intercepted more than once or twice.
I can't even tell you one fight where the interception was purposely done.
Thank you.
You know.
So now tell me, is it about receiving and thwarting, or is it about no, 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 no? That's how that you can't fight like that. You know, how, how many people have you seen winning against conditioned martial artists using the way of the intercepting fist only, using that only? Yeah, sure. We use it in between, but not only that, right? Aikido, can Aikido or Jiu-Jitsu, I'm talking Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, will that work with interception? No, you have to flow, you have to take it, you have to learn to receive first, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What are
Yes.
you doing with
Deep.
50?
Deep. We
What
cooking.
are
We
we?
cooking here. We cooking. All right. Question number 4. To be religious or spiritual?
Again, words, merely words. See, I come from uh, the oldest religious consciousness that was branded a religion by Christianity and Islam. It is not a religion. But today, if someone were to ask me, "What's your religion?" I would say I'm a Hindu. But there is no such thing as Hinduism in the form of organized religion. You cannot be a Hindu if you wanted to. No, there is no place you can go and say, "Hey, excuse me, can I be a Hindu? Where do I sign up?" No such thing. You know, people who were born in that subcontinent before Islam and Christianity and all institutionalized religions came were known as Hindus by people who couldn't pronounce a certain word, which was Sindhu River. The Persians called it Hindu River because they couldn't say Sindh, they say Hind. And then years later, centuries later, it became Hindu. Nonsense. There's no such thing. We are called Sanatana Dharmis. Sanatana Dharma is the right word for Hinduism. But it sounds too nice for the Abrahamic religions to accept because when you say timeless righteousness, that's what Sanatana Dharma means, timeless righteousness. You know, now that's going to create some problems. So what happened with the colonials is the first thing they tried to destroy was the education system and the spiritual concept we had. Why? Because that made us limitless. So they had to make us bring us within limits. So they told us about the external God. Hey, if you think you're God, if you got trouble, who are you going to go to? That concept came up. But we were all known as gods and goddesses. We all have that power inside us, the light within us. Amin Ra in Egypt. Ra means light. Rama in India means the inner light. Ra is light, you know? There's always a focus on that inner light. Till they removed that inner light and put it outside, gave it a beard, judging finger, and called it religion.
Mm. Wow. See, we getting the history here too, people. You're getting a history lesson. Not only are you getting this information, you're getting a history lesson. So get on that chat if you got any questions. We're taking questions too. But first, I got to get through my 10 questions. Hold your questions until I get through mine. We're gonna move through this because, like he said, these are just words, and he's giving us a brief understanding of it. He could go deeper if need be, but we're going to save that for the later lives we got coming up where we're going to take questions from the audience. Okay, question number 5. I think, therefore I am. The philosophy of Reynard Descartes. Is this true?
Just the beginning itself is wrong. I think, for therefore I am delusional is the right answer. because I thought, and thought it's not natural. I think, therefore, I am delusional. Now I think I'm going to be a millionaire because I read the book called The Secret. No, no. You think so? You think that's about it. That stops there. You become it. Then you're talking. When you can become it, that's through consciousness. How do you become? Remember how you said become courage? Become that. Become it. When you look in that dictionary, you see that word courage, Lyte Burly's face is going to be next to it. That's how much you have to become it. Not be it or, I think it, so I am. Yeah, it all starts with a thought. That's true. Every idea starts with a thought. But if you remain in your thoughts are going to take you for a ride and you're going to be delusional. You got to reach a place where you're beyond thought and you become that. That's what you need practice for. And that's not going to happen from talking and reading someone's ideas. You need inner work. You need to work on that within it. And in what direction? That's where you need knowledge. You know, that's where I come in, or people who know what I know do. I have a great guru. I have an excellent guru. You have to first be a student to be a guru. You know, you have to know how to be a student, or shishya, we call it. Shishya. We have, see, in America, we have sadhakas. Sadhakas means people who do certain things to achieve certain things. For example, you go to college, you go through the process, which is called the sadhana, and then you make it possible. That's a sadhana. But if you're a student, you don't even care about results. You're so into it, into the learning aspect, you don't even care about results. That is the highest level. So you have to do that with yourself. When you learn about yourself, when you do that inner inquiry, you have to do it in that way.
Well, we are blessed to have you on this live, Guru. That made so much sense that I think that shook everybody. Everybody on this chat had to be shaken by that one. So we have thrown that out. That is a myth. I think, therefore, I am delusional. We've tossed that aside. Thank you, Guru. Okay, question 6, and this is something you spoke on earlier, but how has civilization changed our natural way? I think you touched on that when you with that
Yeah.
question, but talk more on that.
You see, some of the greatest scholars in the world put their books down, put their pencils down at some point, and realized that it's not about reading and writing and writing and reading more and writing more. No, there's a stage you reach where you're questionless. You don't have any more questions. Should be the goal, and that should be a goal by staying in pure consciousness. People who've touched consciousness know what I'm talking about. It's beyond thought. But a person who's stuck in their mind, who's stuck in their thoughts, cannot even comprehend what I'm saying. So it's a journey. It's not a math formula where you say, x plus this and that equals this. So, no, it's not like a math formula. And it's not even black or white or gray. It's above it all. You as a person is limited, but you beyond that person is limitless. That's where you have to go to empower the person that's limited. And then they both become the same.
Mm. So when you say you get to a point where there's no more questions, are you saying that uh, you have all the answers, or you no longer seek the answers?
Yes, you no longer seek the answers because it's not meant to be figured out. Name one person who's figured it out and died. Name one person. I'm not going to mention any names, but everyone was like, oh, so this wasn't really meant to be figured out. It's about being content within oneself. No, but then what about my inquiry? That means that person will be born again to answer all his questions again. He'll have to go through experiences to fulfill that. You have to die questionless, otherwise you will be reborn.
Wow, powerful. So you saying that reincarnation is a process because you still have questions?
Oh my God, my arm. And then if I die, I'm going to be born with 3 arms or no arms, or something related to arm. Oh, my wallet. Where's my wallet? Oh, now I'm in trouble. I'm going to come back a poor man or a rich man or a greedy man, or because my last thought was money. That's why every religion teaches you to say God's name before you die. Think about it. If your last words is truly about, let's say if you're a Christian, you say Jesus. Okay? Now, you are in a peaceful place. You're not going to Jesus's home when you die because you said Jesus. But you have found peace. And if I say, hey Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, or whatever my belief may be, or I'm gonna say mom or dad, you know, you're in trouble. If you have to be completely calm, collected, smile, and go willingly. That's dead. People don't die beautifully anymore. Remember when we were kids, we used to see dead bodies with a smile with older people. You don't see that anymore.
It's very true. Very true.
That's why.
Wow. So then you will have to repeat the question again because you haven't, you still seek the answers. Wow.
Correct.
Wow. That is quite a cycle there. Well, I know off of this live right now, I know when that time comes, I'm gonna make sure I say I ain't got no more questions. I have no questions. Please
You'll be
let me
like,
go in peace.
you'll be like, this guy's bad for business.
He's messing up the money. Okay, that was deep. All righty. Question number 7. How many levels of
You cut off, but I know the question. How many levels of consciousness, right?
yeah, how many level of consciousness is there?
There's only one level of consciousness, and it's your consciousness. The minute you look at levels, you're thinking again. See, you're thinking again. How many? Am I in the third level? Hey, last night I had a lot of fun in my second level of consciousness. See you tomorrow. I'll be practicing my third level tomorrow. It don't work like that.
There's no steps. There's no steps in the level of consciousness. There is only
Consciousness.
consciousness. So one level of consciousness there is. Well, I have read a book that has said something about the 7 levels of consciousness, the super cosmic, the super duper cosmic, and it went on and on. But I'm glad that you clarified that was a book to sell. They said all of that to sell the book because one level doesn't sound as interesting as 7.
Yeah, as long as people have questions, there will be other people who will add more questions in their brains. What it is, you know what it is, Burley? I'll say it's actually dimensions, not consciousness. They're different dimensions.
Okay. Well, how many levels of dimensions is there to this?
I can only speak about what I have experienced, and I wasn't counting when I was experiencing them. That's the honest truth.
Wow. Wow.
I was,
And is that through meditation that
yes,
you
emptiness, emptying, nothingness, and everythingness meet at some point. Think about it. Two parallel lines meet somewhere, right? The
Mhm.
same way, as long as infinity exists, which is a fact that we all know, infinity exists. Infinity determines our time because distance is, part of the time formula. As long as infinity exists, let me tell you something. What goes around will come around. Even you, even your thoughts, even your answers, you'll find more questions to derail your own answers. And then you'll call yourself a truth seeker for going deeper into thought. And you'll pat yourself on the back and say, I'm a truth seeker. I throw myself into the vulnerable. I do this, I do that. That's delusional. Unless you go beyond thought, you're stuck in your thoughts. That's a fact, unfortunately. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many people you quote. Unless you are completely free of all these things and stay in that clear place, you will forever be full of questions and try to figure out life like a math formula. And it doesn't work. We all know it doesn't work, but that's the only way many people know to go after that. They don't know any other way. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's okay. We can. The guru was cutting through these questions like a hot knife through butter. This is real talk right here, people. This is real talk. All right. Question number 8: does muscle have memory, or is the memory in the mind?
Our body carries more memory than the mind, believe it or not.
Mm. Please speak on that. So
Yes.
the body carries more memory than the mind.
Yes. I will tell you why I say that. You see, yoga. Okay, I'll give you an example. This is a hard one to explain, but I'm going to try. When people do yoga, they feel relief. Okay. When people don't do yoga, they stay with their stress. They feel tightness here. They feel tightness here. They feel in their hamstrings. This, that. And when you do yoga, it releases it. When it releases it, it releases the mind. So it works backwards also. If it does work backwards, you know it works the other way also.
Yes.
Okay, so why is that? Because you have memories stored here and there. Once that's released, you're free of that thought. You feel free because your body carries memory. You know, there's been so many sciences. You know, you like you chop off a man's arm and then you throw something at him. He'll be like, oh, he'll try to use that. He'll try.
He'll still try to use that arm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why doesn't his brain tell him, you dumbass, you don't have an arm? Why doesn't his brain tell him if the brain has so much, you know? Like I said, brain is an organ. We really don't know how much and how and where it works. And, you know, like I said, I don't know where you're located in my brain. Where,
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that makes sense. So the body carries more memory than the mind itself. That is so true. And I like that analogy of if you cut your arm off. Yes, because I remember back in my heydays, I got shot, and I went and sat on the park bench, and I was talking with my friends, and the conversation got so interesting that when everybody got up to leave, I tried to get up and walk away. I totally forgot that I couldn't walk. I had to grab my cane, but for that brief moment, I had totally forgot that I was shot, and I went to walk on my leg like any natural time, and that was always something I thought about, but that makes sense now is that the body still had the memory of, let's walk, get up and walk. Very true, very true. Okay, question number 9. What are your thoughts on yin and yang?
no thoughts. It's I don't have any thoughts as such. I experience it every moment within me. It's the balance that keeps me going. You know, there's no need to think about it. It's the left side and the right side. In India, we call it the female and the male. You know, every culture has a way of putting it. But what you have to know that it does balance you. So, for example, you must have seen pranayama, yogic breathing, where they close one nostril and then they release the other. That's to get your left and right centered. It's a 13 to 14,000-year-old breathing technique.
Wow.
Yeah. So this concept has been around at least that long, you know, but way before yin and yang and the black spot and the white spot, going with that and all that. I'm not knocking Chinese wisdom. I have respect for Chinese wisdom, but I also know that if the ancient ways came from India, the photocopy way of the ancient ways comes from China. If I tell you it's good to have a water body on the left side of your house, that's the Indian way. They'll put a fountain on. They'll put a picture of a waterfall or something like that. You know what I mean? It's you have to really. Why do you think Bruce Lee's greatest philosopher was an Indian philosopher, Jiddu Krishnamurti? You know, Bruce Lee was a philosophy major in San Francisco, California, San Francisco, and his greatest philosopher that he admired was Krishnamurti from South India, where I'm from. And secretly speaking, JK is Jiddu Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishnamurti called himself JK. So JKD, the D part is the way. So Jiddu Krishnamurti way. He mixed that. It's in there. Jeet Kundo is actually a little bit of Jiddu Krishnamurti also. He gave him his props as well. Because he talked about the truth cannot be organized. Remember that. The truth can never be organized. The truth can only be realized.
Mm,
You see the mess? Do you see what kind of mess we've created by trying to organize the truth?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Very true. Very true. So you're saying that JKD was also
Jiddu
Bruce
Krishnamurti.
Lee giving back
Yeah,
to his
to his philosopher.
that makes a whole lot of sense. You probably just broke the internet with that one there. That is a deep cut. Did you know there's Bruce Lee fans everywhere? You probably just broke the internet with that one right there.
Yeah.
Somebody said when Egypt fell, all of the knowledge was taken to India.
I have nothing to say about that because that's somebody's
Uh,
opinion.
you said that's somebody what you went
That's
out.
somebody's opinion. That's not a
Oh,
factual
okay.
statement. Because like
Oh,
I told you, Amin Ra. Amin Ra. The Ra in Amin Ra comes from Rama. Ra in Sanskrit means the light. So the sun god, yeah, what's my name? Suraj. Suraj. Ra, right? The sun. My name means the sun. Rama means the sun. Amin, Egypt is a very ancient. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Giza, Abu Simbel, all those places. Okay, and let me tell you something. What I saw was not anything different besides the geographical places and all that, the location. Do you know that the Sphinx and all that was in thick forest before? I saw rain erosion at the bottom of the pyramids. Okay. Now, do you know, have you heard of the plates moving and continents separating? That's how long ago India and Africa was connected. India, and I look at my skin color. I'm from the first gene pool like the African. The South Indian gene pool, where I come from, there are people darker than black men. Aborigines come from India. Do you know that? Australian Aborigines come from India. They've checked their DNA. If you go from the east side of India, southeast of India, and travel straight by boat, you'll reach Australia. How do you think the martial arts reached Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and all that from us? It's not a competition about who's older, Egypt or India. Let me tell you something. Both those countries, both India and Egypt, are in very bad shape. Ancient cultures, history is littered by cultures that once for this and once for that. But India is still a booming economy, and 80% of India still follows the original culture. Whereas Egypt has converted to Islam and Christianity. They do not know of their original culture. How can they claim to be the oldest culture? Here I am talking about my 10,000-year-old Vedic culture and Vedanta, Siddhanta culture. Bring me an Egyptian that talks about a religion that's beyond his buyer and seller's religion. I dare you.
mm-hmm.
Bring me a black
Well, the
man.
challenge has been laid out by the guru. You heard the
Bring me,
guru.
bring me a black man. Bring me a black man that will discuss religion with me that is not his seller's religion or his buyer's religion, but his original religion. I would like to have that debate. And you will see it is the same as my culture. Because Africa, people ordered the gods for what they wanted. They looked up the sky with authority till the white man made him submissive and made him beg. And that's exactly what happened in India as well. We used to command the gods, we used to control the energies and the elements. And then you know what happened? We were told to beg by the colonials. No different than Africa. But here we are. There's a man actually debating whether Egypt came before or this was stolen from Egypt. Ain't no Indian went to Egypt and stole nothing. If anything was stolen, it was from the colonials. And I'll tell you what, they still didn't get it, even after stealing it. They still didn't get the point.
Well, Michael Phoenix, he wasn't saying that it was the oldest. I don't think he said he wasn't trying to debate that fact. Thank you, Michael Phoenix, for being on the chat. Every this is a discussion, so everybody can have their opinion. All opinions here are
Yes.
respected, but there are opinions that are rooted in fact too. Like we have, we have to give respect to all of that, and we will here too. But on to the next question, which would be the 10th final question, and this is the big guns. I'm bringing out the big guns from this one. Does life have meaning?
Does life have meaning? As you go through life, Life does seem like
or
it
is
has
it just
meaning.
life? Or is it like you hear a lot of people my purpose in life, the meaning of life. Does life have a meaning or is it just life?
Living gives meaning to life.
There we go. Out the park. Out the park, Babe Ruth out the park. Yes, you did. So living gives meaning to life. Can you break that down a little further?
And remember when I said reading and writing was our first sign of devolution, not evolution?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people, the most of the people that discuss life are half dead.
Wow.
That's why they discuss it instead of living it.
Mm.
I know many, many
Mm.
holy men in India that take pride in living a dead life, and they just discuss it. A philosopher, it's what a philosopher is. He's a philosophy means truth seeking, the science of truth or something like that. That's what it means, right? Now, if you're a truth seeker, you should seek your truth. What is your truth beyond your job, your identity, your race? Who am I? But what happens to us is we get so worked up with our race and our religion and our geographical location, our culture, country, nationality. We forget who we are in pure energy form. That's why we find it hard to stay in our consciousness. Our identities, they mess us up. We think we're proud of our identity. Yeah, that's the beginning of our mess up. What's there to be so proud of? There are 7, 8 billion, whatever people with different stories and different reasons and different causes. You're just one among them. But at the same time, you are very special because guess what? There's only you the way you are because only you can do what you were meant to do. Now you feel special, right? When was the last time you heard someone talk about someone's cars and shoes and underwear at their funeral?
Very true.
You know,
Very true. Does
who?
happen, yeah.
Yeah, who's trying to be the richest man in the graveyard? Almost everybody. You trying to be
Almost
the
nobody.
when you try to be the richest man in the graveyard, that starts with this what you just asked me. The question, that's where that leads to. You become the richest man in the graveyard with your identity, with your possessions, your successors. In actuality, none of that will stay. You know that. That was never meant to be with you till the end. Or you came alone, you will go alone, guaranteed. You don't have you don't have pockets in your coffin. You don't have a little safe in your coffin. You're not taking anyone with you. But speaking of Egyptians, let me tell you something. Do you know how vain that culture is for having their servants killed and put aside before the pharaoh makes his journey? Their cats, their lovebirds, their parrots, they all got to die with the king. You telling me this moron still hasn't figured out from an ancient culture that you are not your body? When you leave your body, you're no longer going to enjoy. You can't have your penis with you. How are you going to have sex with 72 virgins? Or how are you going to take your servants and your concubines with you to the other place when you got ants in your freaking penis? You need your body to enjoy physical things. You're not taking your body with you. So it's just an idea, delusional. You think, therefore, you're delusional. Whereas in India, we have far beyond that from way back. We know once your body is not who you are, your body is only with you for so long. After that, you have to leave this, shed it, just like, and then leave on to another dimension, come back again. We know these things. But what do the Egyptians do? They take their damn parrot, cat, servant, everyone, all of them dying. Yeah. Now, you tell me, which is wiser? Which one has actual wisdom that will actually help someone in today's life? 10,000 years from today, also, your consciousness will be working.
Mm. Mm. Well, that makes sense. That's true. I wouldn't want to be one of the servants. Like he's going, so we all got to go.
You know
Just
what
let
I
that man go. Just let him go.
mean? Exactly. So he ain't getting poisoned by his servants because they got to go with him.
Hmm.
It's all
Wow.
insecurity. These things come from insecurity. And as long as you're insecure, you will never be an actual seeker of who you are.
Wow. Wow. You heard it right here. You heard it right here. Words from the guru. I gave him my best 10 questions. I had to think. It took me days to come up with them questions, and he just went through them easy. Like I'm gonna have to think harder for these questions. But what we're trying to start here is to bring the guru into view. So as Americans, we can start shedding some of these thoughts and the unnecessary baggage we carry around with us. We're here. We've brought the guru here to help us to put some of them bags down, free yourself, free your mind, and as he said, get to a place where you no longer have questions. Where I guess that would that be considered enlightenment? Is that considered enlightenment? Is where you have no more questions? Is that stage of enlightenment, or am I mixing it up?
The
Does
first,
enlightenment mean something else?
no, you're right. The first stage, the first step towards enlightenment is to lighten up.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot lighten up, you will never be enlightened. And if you try to be enlightened, you will not be enlightened. That's another thing. You don't try to be enlightened. You can try to be smarter, you can try to be knowledgeable, but you don't try to be enlightened. You're literally emptying yourself. You know, when you empty yourself, you might reach something. Again, the word enlightenment itself not my favorite word, but you feel that you're trying to reach a goal, a spot, a destination. Well, what does it feel like? What if you ask an enlightened person, what does it feel like to be enlightened, sir? What do you think that man's going to say to you? Or you ask him approximately what age did you get enlightened? Anyone who says, "Oh, well, I was about 26, I was walking through the park and suddenly, boom, it hit me," he's full of shit. You know, so we have that in India. We got a lot of that in India. I went to the Himalayas. I was sitting in a cave, and boom, one day he appeared. I go, who? He. I go, who? And there was this man in this, and he was wearing this. I go, man, I ain't got time for this shit. That's where the American in me comes out. You know,
Good
delusional
have a little
people.
Americano in you. Yeah.
I mean, I lived in India for 6 years. I just been here about 7 months in New York. Before that, I was in Dubai. Then I was in Los Angeles. I've lived in the biggest commercial cities: Dubai, Los Angeles, New York. Now, okay. And let me tell you something. People are people. Okay, people are delusional everywhere. They're chasing this dream that they know they cannot reach, but they feel useless if they don't chase that dream, which robs them of them being themselves. This is my summary. you know if everything you do is robbing you of yourself and you're being a bunch of ideas of other people's ideas. Did you read this book? Did you read that book? Remember this, when in that book he said about this. You're filling yourself with other people's ideas. The worst thing you can do is read, in my opinion, as far as this subject. You can read about other stuff like knowledge, like whatever. You go to Vienna, Austria, you want to read up about so you don't get messed up over there. You go to the nice restaurant. Yeah, you can read about stuff like that. You don't read somebody's book about to find out who you are, man. You read your book of life.
Wow.
What's that book called? The Secret? That's the stupidest book I've ever seen or read.
Wow.
That really derails people from their path. You know that? You don't throw shit in the universe, man. What
Yeah.
the hell are you talking about? Throw shit in the universe, someone will catch it, write it down on a piece of paper, or put it in a. What the hell people talking about? I'm telling you, half truths. The world is full of half truths. The only truth, the complete truth is consciousness, which I always repeat has no race, has no religion, has no country. And it's been around since the beginning of time. And anybody and everybody who's done anything as far as becoming enlightened, all that is because they were conscious. They were connected to the consciousness, and they were awareness. A healer, a killer, has to be aware. Your awareness is what makes your presence strong. If you don't have a strong presence, it's because your awareness is lacking. It's lacking on your awareness.
Hmm. Deep words. We have deep words. The guru has spoken. We're not going to keep you up too long. The guru has the things to do, but now that everything is back in effect, we will be having more words from the guru. We will also be starting a program for you to reach out to the guru, get some self-help yourself, things that you may want to talk about, questions that you may want removed or figure out how to remove the questions. We will be putting together a program, the Lyte Burly guru, to the people, because as Americans we know um, we are overwhelmed with other people's thoughts and with on how we should be and what we should be doing and how we should feel, thus causing more of the confusion. But the guru is here to help us with that. So I would like to thank the guru for his time and stopping by. Um, Today is Wednesday, so we will be back no later than third Friday or Saturday. We're going to bring the guru back, and we're going to keep it a repetitive thing until we catch traction. Right now, I think we caught a lot of traction. We've had a lot of people in the room listening to the guru. We got 17 thumbs up. Hopefully you shared this video and help us get it out there. But I appreciate everybody who's given us time to sit on this chat and hear the wise words from the guru. But we will be back. Thank you, Guru, for stopping by.
Thank you.
See you again in a few more days. And even though we're getting to the place where we're not supposed to have questions, I will have some more questions.
All right.
I guess we have more questions until we have no questions. But we back. So as I said before, I thank everybody for their time, their life essence. As always, hands up, chin down.
All right. Peace out.